Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to probably the most important video that we've gone through so far. It's just going to be a conclusion of pretty much everything that I've gone through and pretty much my trading plan, but also how you're going to adapt your own trading plan. Now, from everything that you've learned from my course, you can understand how we trade, what we use as well, especially in terms of the technical strategy. But this is something that you're going to have to solidify for yourself. um I've spoken to a bunch of you guys, and I realize that some of you have full-time jobs, for examples, and you can't really trade on a lower time frame, wait for the confirmation trades. So you're going to have a slightly different style of trading, but in a way it's all the same. Just how you adapt yourself and adapt it to your own time and preferences, really. So when it comes to my trading plan, I split it in two ways. I go for the weekly plan and the daily plan. In terms of weekly, number one, I always read upon fundamentals, take notes, and understand the directional bias. This is something that we're going to go in depth with in the next part of the course. Um, but it's probably going to be the most important bit, because getting in on the technicals, once you know your points of interest and you know where fundamentals are taking you, then you know where you're going. Secondly, I note down key events for the week ahead, timings, dates, etc., as well as possible effect on the market. So, what I mean by this is, let's just say, for example, CPI data is coming out on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Well, that is a measure of inflation on the market, prices for consumers. Um, I can take it two ways. I'm gonna say, okay, there's two possibilities. It can even go up or it can go down. What is in terms of the reading? So what's the effect of that? Is DXY going to react positively or negatively? Then I prepare myself for both scenarios. If I know that it's going to react positively, that means EU is going to go down, for example. And that's where I need to understand my points of interest relative to the data releases. Then, of course, complete your analysis on your chosen pairs and instruments. Note fundamentals on the screen, identify liquidity. So these are the main things. Liquidity is the first thing I identify. Voids as well. Ranges, as in, are we in a consolidation? Are we trending? So what's the market structure like? Are we in a downtrend? Or are we in an uptrend? Then I prepare my points of interests and I refine candles, usually on a weekly time frame down to the 15-minute, sometimes even less than that, but it's kind of pointless at that time. It's more when you get into that day and you get to your point of interest, that's when I refine even further down. So keep this analysis stored so you can look back at the end of the week and see what scenarios played out. So you can do this in two ways. Personally, I use the Telegram as a way of keeping it like a journal. Especially in the beginning, I added almost everything I do on there. Nowadays it's more on Excel as well. So you can use an Excel sheet, you upload your analysis on there, put your potential areas, and then at the end of the week, see how it went, see what percentage you increase your account by, what you lost, and everything like that. So when it comes to my daily plan, so first thing I look at is the time and price. Observe what happened during Asian session, any ranges or liquidity. Wait for London to present any reversals and see how if it raids Asian liquidity. So if we start to see the London fake out, for example, then I understand, okay, now I might have an idea of where price is going. But of course, always refer to the higher time frame and understand where are we in that. Are we in premium? Are we in discount? Everything like that. Number three, look for either a New York retracement to lead to a continuation or a New York reversal, depending on the time of week. So when I say refer back to that lesson, what I'm talking about is, if we're on a Thursday New York session is getting towards the end, you can consider a New York reversal at that time, because you've had most of the week has progressed already. So now you can expect some kind of reversal around that time. But are you going to be expecting a reversal in New York maybe on a Wednesday, for example, when price is just flowing downwards or upwards? You just have to consider these points. And number four, main entry to be within the high time frame point of interest. Never, never, never. If you see a Wyckoff or, you know, some kind of breaker structure coming down in the middle of random price action where you're not even at a point of interest, don't enter there. It's always got to be at a point of interest. And then remember at the end of the day that the currencies will most likely present pullbacks or take profits at suitable areas. In terms of confirmations, many people say, "Oh, don't enter without confirmations," but they never really explain what their own are. Me personally, I've got these. Fundamentals supports bias. That's the first main one. Then, if I get to points of interest, I can look for divergences. Some of my optimum entries. So this is the diagrams that I drew up before and what I like to see in terms of price action. A confirmation entry links to that optimum entry as well. Understanding, have we got that breaker structure, for example? Is it going to be an inducement? These different types of scenarios. Then, have we taken any liquidity? Are we doing a stop run? Are we taking stop losses and then coming back down? So it's that understanding of liquidity and what price has done with it. Then Wyckoff as well. This will be an added confirmation, especially on the lower time frame. Optimum time of the day. So of course we've looked. I either want to be in London or New York session, and then the William percent R is just understanding, is my point of interest valid in a way. One other thing I wanted to add here is currency correlations and index correlations as well. So especially I use, if I'm doing Euro USD, I look at the DXY and the EXY. Like I said before, go back to that lesson for sure. Then if we're looking at commodity based pairs, if it's CAD, for example, I would look at oil. If it's Australia, I'd look at gold, I'd look at iron ore, and obviously AXY as well. There's going to be more that we're going to explore in fundamentals when we look at bond markets, yields, everything like that. So this is my personal trading plan that I've compiled over the course of my development, discovering what best suits me through a series of backtesting and time on the charts. The biggest thing that I'm going to say is everyone might have the perfect plan, but it all comes to time on the charts. The more time that you're on there and understanding price movements, it's not that you might have more winning trades because you still got the same strategy, but you'll have less losing trades. I really do understand when I'm not meant to be in that trade, for example, when I see that something's wrong there, when it's invalidating for some reason. So throughout the series of videos that I've taught you, I've taught everything that's essential in the way that I trade. Yeah, there are still some choices you have to make personally once you also complete the fundamental course. So, once you've done all of the technicals and the fundamentals as well, just consider these points. Are you a risk trader or confirmation trader? What's your risk management plan looking like? I would say stick to what I taught as well. Never keeping something above 1% trade on a funded account. On your smaller accounts, for example, obviously you can risk more. That's up to you. Are you trading intraday or swing trading? Now, this obviously will depend on your timing as well, and also how risk averse are you. If you don't want to stick to the intraday trading, you can easily do the swing trading and just trade off the 4 hour off the daily, for example, and then your currency pairs of choice. I think the Discord group will help a lot with that because you'll see, how everyone is doing with their currency pairs and everything. Because I want to keep the Discord group as active as possible and, where everyone can interact. We're going to have weekly calls as well, whether it's a fundamental breakdown or some kind of weekly analysis. So yeah, guys, your trading plan, once you're done with it, print it out or just write it down on paper and keep it with you every time you're looking at the chart. See if your trading plan it's like a checklist. So you've always got to keep that in the back of your head. Anyways, guys, take care and we'll see you in the next video.